the early game, they have to keep it close. Because again, if they slip, like in game number 1, it's just going to be a fast ride yet again for the Super Fam.
Here we go, game number 2. Once again, match point for Onic PH. Team Falcons PH looking to take us all the way. It starts here. Keep an eye out on that Fanny, Kyle Teasy. Rarely do anybody actually get their hands on a Fanny here in Season 15, but the draft from Blue here, let's see if this gambit pays off.
Again, it takes guts to actually give Kyle Teasy one of his signatures, the Fanny, but if Onic, they're the few teams who can actually pull it off. Again, they're 1 win away from securing a playoff spot in S15.
All right, so it was an orange start for the Fanny. Lower side clear into the orange. In terms of the emblems, basic common for Super Friends. Keller is actually rocking Master Assassin for better dueling against the Harith.
And that might be a lane that they win as well, because look down bottom. Kirk is just bullying Flap Teasy down to about 1/4 of his health.
Yeah, and he can actually do it, or even force out the Revitalize early on. But now, Kyle Teasy spots out King Kong. King Kong already level 4.
The struggles of Agata Kacha EXP against the Hilda. Early on items, it's concealed for Brusco and for Ogwin. Nothing fancy. Rushing on the items for both. No shoes for either gold laners. Would want to play around their dashes instead.
Oh, Kyle Teasy!
Oh, fortunately he was able to steal Cable out. He was up against 3. But again, he's still level 3. Oh, you know that Kyle Teasy's jungling pattern has been disrupted because King Kong's going to have an easy time later on in neutral objectives.
Ian, disrupted is a understatement. The flicker from Super Prince.
Oh, he was able to mistake once again. Here comes the Lantern Flare, forcing out Fuse Flicker also. And now they're putting a lot of emphasis onto the middle lane to have perfect control over the center of the map.
All right, so no deaths yet. Looking good for Falcons right now in terms of taking their condition, but Kirk is now disrupting Kyle Teasy. Great invade by the Hilda. Ooh, what a knockup by Brusco.
Oh, Kirk, one more hit onto Few. They're starting the invade already in the first blood drawn onto Ogwin. The answer out with the ult coming in from Few, but Kirk literally was able to run away.
The sprint, helping him get to that bush, get extra shields, get some regen, and keeping up the pressure. Onic PH gets a free turtle because of how much of a presence they were in the jungle.
And now they're not even done. They want to go for more at the orange buff. Fortunately, Ogwin and Flap is here to save the day as Kyle Teasy works on the purple buff. And this is what Renmar has been saying all along. The early game is going to be crucial for Ogwin and Kyle Teasy. And they're the ones having trouble because Ogwin's not even level 4 yet.
Yep, so tough for the Khalid. You really have to make the most out of your Desert Tornado so that you don't get tossed up by the Lantern of the Juice In. And so far, Falcons' losses are quite minimized. Funnily enough, they could have been worse at this point. 3 minutes in, could have been 3 or 4 deaths already on their board. But so far, they've minimized it to 1. And Kyle Teasy is still getting some farm across the board. While, of course, since they are not struggling and they are the ones invading, setting the tempo, King Kong is having a good time in the jungle right now.
Basically, in other words, Green Falcons should be thankful because their team is not losing as fast, but it is bad.
Yeah.
Onic PH is approaching the 2K gold lead, and look, a gold lead across the board. Super Marco seems to be the only holdout. He's like, what, 100, 200 away from Kelra.
Yeah, but the problem is, even during game number 1, wherein, oh, wait a minute, they're trying to go for Super Prince.
Whoop.
Is the damage going to be there, though? Forced out already the Raging Sandstorm for Ogwin. That's crucial.
You were saying about game 1.
Again, even if Super Marco was having a good time up against Kelra, even leading in terms of economy up in the early game, if they don't manage to minimize the overall lead that Onic has been doing, but Kyle Teasy already works on Kelra with a kill.
And you're forgetting it's a team game. It's not just Marco versus Kelra. Kyle Teasy, an opportunist finding his mark.
Yep, that's why we said it's important that Kyle and Ogwin set the tempo. Kyle has done it, but Ogwin gets kicked.
This might be the punish they're trying to look for.
Flicker.
Ogwin is able to flicker out. One more hit, even used up the Revitalize. But here comes the heals coming in from Ogwin. Was able to out-sustain King Kong. A huge clutch play from the master himself.
Sand is known to stop currency of lightning running through. Perfect science in play for game 2 here.
Yeah, and the best part was they were also able to block out Kelra's Renner. So no casualties for Falcons and a good turtle take from Kyle Teasy.
Okay, Onic still going forward though. They don't want to let this go. They're angry.
Okay, trying to work on Open.
They let
But
go.
Oh, no!
What a flicker!
Good flicker, was able to size up Brusco. Now they're trying to go for him. Once again, Calteezy enters the picture. Here comes the cables. Super Friends with a Crimson Beacon out. That's Flap TZ. Cast is revitalized.
They are a turtle apiece, and they have managed to shrink that gold lead down in half. Just 1,000 ahead now. Onic PH is Falcons. Wow, what a recovery.
Yeah, and they have to keep this up. Things like that. Play around Calteezy getting a pick. Once Calteezy gets a pick, there is an opening somewhere. Be proactive in finding it. And even though Ogwen's been getting poked down, blasted, forced to use a lot of the healing that he needs to keep himself alive, he's not afraid to hold back, to go forward and say, I will get this info, I will find an opening. And he needs to keep this up, except that he will be the literal sandbag.
Yeah, this was also considering the fact that he already used up the Raging Sandstorm prior to that initiation, so he was down a resource. But with the flicker, was still able to make a huge play for the Green Falcons.
Another turtle coming up in about 45 seconds from now, and Onic PH are looking for another aggressive angle. We need to watch what Ogwen is willing to do here. He's got a flicker coming up for this next engagement. Still magical what he's done. He literally chose the best time to force an answer from Onic, and now it looks like Falcons are the aggressors.
They instead went for the Beast himself, paired up with a Sandstorm from Ogwen. They're making things work from Green Falcons. And Renmar, what you actually said is working. Ogwen and Calteezy again, the connection is there.
I'm just doing my job. I mean, come on. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm here for.
Super Friends in trouble?
One more hit. Who's going to get the kill? It's going to go on to Capitan Few.
That is Falcons now in the driver's seat, and Brusco holding this brush here, getting out of dodge. This is looking like a turtle with Falcon's name on it.
I just love what Calteezy and Ogwen went with. There was a clear target and Super Friends onto the middle lane, but they spotted out King Kong, went for a greater fish instead, and that resulted to an uncontested turtle take once again.
All the more, it looks like we're going to game 3 as King Kong gets bullied out of his disruptive rotations, and Falcons slowly building up a lead of their own.
It's also really important that Falcons are minimizing the opportunities for any of them to get picked off by any of the kicks of Brusco. Highlight going back to when Few was able to flicker out of a good kick angle that Brusco already set up, not once, but I believe he was able to do it twice. Oh, and Marco can handle a level 11, almost level 12 Joy by himself. That's not good news for the Super Fam.
And the thing is, even if Few doesn't have his flicker, as long as the passive is active,
yeah,
all the initiations from Brusco can go to waste already.
Hold up, we haven't really been talking about the map. Look at this down bottom. That turret's still standing. I can smell it. Kelra and Kirk have ill intentions. Believe it or not, that is the first push for Onic PH in this game.
Okay, so this time Kelra's doing a Super Marco play. Just try to go for the turret pushes instead of clashing, because right now they're really outnumbered, outgunned, out-resourced. And now they're going to back on to just split pushing and avoiding those clashes.
Ooh, okay, so the itemization for Kelra here, he went for BOD full build, and then Fury Hammer BOD now went into the Malefic Gun. So he has a little bit more reach to work with, and even more so now Falcons really have to time their dives well so that they'll be able to reach and deal damage to Kelra. I believe they might be going for an attack speed type of Beatrix. Let's see with the third item, because this is what I've been looking for, the attack speed Bea just using the rocket launcher.
Yeah. It's going to be a thorn in the neck for the Green Falcons eventually, but look at Calteezy's positioning. He can literally go straight for the kill, just waiting for his prey, but he's going to work on the bottom lane instead.
Yeah, good presence by Brusco to actually make sure Kelra's just safe. He's going around with his gold laner so that if ever the Fanny decides to go in, there's a simple kick away and Kelra will be fine.
Lord spawns in the opposite side of the map. That means Brusco and Kelra have to move up and maybe contest. They are in contest range, folks. It's just that the map, they need to make it work a little closer to theirs. Ogwen makes contact with Kirk and Super Friends. We really haven't been feeling the Monster Mage just yet. Hasn't found any amazing Crimson Beacons, no?
Yeah. He'll be able to use it when it's a full dive by Falcons. That would be the best bet. To hopefully be able to deal damage while also getting those marks in so that you can get more crowd control to disrupt their team fighting, to set things up for Kelra. So if Falcons don't time their dive well enough, they could get punished.
Here comes a kick flicker onto Master Ogwin, plus the ult coming in from Kelra. They were able to pick up one. Kyle TZ working on Super Fritz. He was able to Crimson Beacon out. No casualties yet for Onic Philippines. This might be the go signal to get that Lord.
Asking you shall receive, defensively used, and now they make a beeline for the Lord!
Beeline onto Flap TZ first as they take down the Filipino cannon. Marco working on 4, but Onyx scatters away scot-free once again. Kyle TZ working on Kirk. Here's the cutthroat and the shutdown for Kyle TZ.
Falcons, I thought they were slipping on the discipline. It looked like they were, but then they were able to counter back with aggression from Super Marco and Kyle TZ so that Onic Philippines will not be able to position and even play for the Lord. Now it's a little bit more even for this Lord 1 dance.
Yep, at 4 and 3, Onic were just building up, and then suddenly Falcons deny him. King Kong get away with about 2.5 HP. Kyle TZ got to back out of there because they're making the Lord start it up. They're dancing around it. Big presence from Falcons.
Ogwin has good information on where Onic Philippines is hiding. No contest might happen here actually, and Kyle TZ will secure it. Onic trying to go for the engage. Here comes the kick onto Flap, gonna bring him down, but Marco working on the beast himself. Oh, they got sandwiched out. Brusco trying to look for Super Marco, but Ogwin was able to zone them out.
The art of the turn. Onic knew they could not contest, so instead they went for a kill. Definitely could have gotten more if only. If only it weren't a matter of range. Kelra is the only true range hero that deals this kind of damage for Onic. Hence why they can't finish the job.
At the same time, the heal that Ogwin brought down at his feet, again, that has a slow effect. And Onic Philippines, once they knew they were in it, they knew it'd be too risky as the tower was also hitting them. So good zone by Ogwin to keep Super Marco alive in that sequence. But Onic Philippines will be able to rush this Lord without a problem. Falcons are looking to win somewhere, something in the center of the map. Purple buff about to spawn for Onic. With Ogwin there, let's see if Falcons will make a play.
It went from worse to bad for the Super Fam. So they are still in relative control of this game, while Falcons are looking to run and gun, move around. They're in better shape than they ever have been in this series. And they spot out Kirk. We're looking for Kirk's next big play. He really hasn't been doing as much as he was in the early.
Okay, Brusco charging up as Jeet Kondu. He has a flicker here. So they're going to try and make a play. They're able to still hold on to their mid lane, inhibit their turret, and that's where the trade factor comes in. Again, because Team Falcons, they were able to control that Lord because all their battle spells were up, unlike Onic, who had to use it just to try and bring down Ogwin. And now here comes the kick. They're trying to go on Flap TZ, forced out to revitalize already. He missed AOG from the back. Flap TZ was able to escape. Now they forced out the Crimson Beacon. Ogwin and View is going to fall down in the hands of the God in the gold lane, plus King Kong. The KK connection picking up 3.
Oh my God, divide and conquer! It's just Marco and Kyle left versus 5 from Onic!
Now they're going to invade onto the purple buff. The sniper is not going to connect as Super Prince working on the mid lane. The tides have turned once again for the Super Fam.
What a team fight for Onic Philippines. They knew they had to split it because if they let Falcons go front to back, it's not going to go well for them. With their resources split up, Onic Philippines were able to win that without a problem.
Rose Gold Meteor on the way for Kelra, as King Kong also built his own arsenal. Kyle TZ is now left to clean up these lanes. They know, Falcons know that their window is up, that the snowball is slowly melting.
Yeah, it's hard. We're gonna see a lot of Kyle TZ segues, but that's the beauty of it. Seems like there's not gonna be any lockdown apart from Brusco, and Kyle TZ can actually evade that easily. So still, Falcons still holding on.
Short of saying, Falcons is dealing with a mess. Luckily, they have a mop.
Yeah. The thing is with the Falcons lineup, with Onic Philippines already serving at family size, all of them are just together. Kyle TZ is like, what am I gonna eat, man? I go in and what? Risk getting kicked? All of them are always sticking. But when you find an opening, go ahead and take it. If you find Super Prince or King Kong, just a moment alone, take him down.
He took a big bite of Prince there. But he couldn't finish the job. So that's another half-eaten plate that Falcons have to ring up for their bill. And I'm not so sure they got enough left in the tank to get this done. Get paid, son, and make it to the playoffs because Onic PH are going, looking for that kick. Lord gets secured.
And King Kong once again, they will disengage alongside the conceal. Beautiful engage from Onic.
You see that? Brusco used the kick as a deterrent. It's like, oh, you sure?
Yeah, I believe as well it looked like FlapTZ was able to manipulate the angle just a little bit so that he wouldn't get kicked closer to Onic Philippines. But I like that Brusco didn't hesitate to use the conceal to say, guys, let's get out of here.
And also consider the fighting game-like discipline and windows that these players are playing with, because look, there's also a flicker, so Brusco could have also repositioned.
Yeah. Lots of very, what do you call this, snappy decision making.
Some frames.
Some frames that they're playing around.
He was
Put that on a picture frame. That's a low light, unfortunately, for the young phenom.
That was a straight up FPS moment, son.
Here comes the attack. And that's why you don't go in head first against the pack, the family of the Super Fam. Lord sieging in onto the top lane. They're going to be able to clear it out unless Brusco manages to find another pickoff. Here comes the ult coming in from Kelra. And now they're able to take away Inhibitor. Marco! Super Prince with the fast hand flicker. Kelra working on Marco himself. There's minions onto the middle lane, and Falcon will be able to clear it out.
Man, I'm really digging this attack speed Beatrix, and I'm so happy to see it here. It's not the full attack speed that I would usually go for Corrosion Scythe, but it's very deadly because it has Sea Halberd, Haas Claws, and Rose Gold Meteor. A good mix of self-sustain and just chunky damage.
Unexpecting father. NA's very own Herbert Wagner whispered to me once, Leo, I'm gonna call him Machine Gun Kelra!
Now the angle is there for Machine Gun Kelra! Marco just trying to work for a trade. They're going to be able to bring down Kirk, but FlapTZ is the one to fall.
Oh.
Kyle TZ trying to escape the 4. King Kong working on Ogwin, and that's one member down for the Green Falcons.
It was this moment that Trek saw in his mind when he was making the call. King Kong finds Ogwin!
No brush is safe if you're in the midst of a great game from the Beast Incarnate.
Onic Philippines. Again, I said in the game 1, they are so back. And they are so aggressive, so decisive. And Falcons have winded themselves out. The lineup that was supposed to find a spike at around 10 to 12 just could not find it, as Onic Philippines were able to find theirs. They are a full dive composition, save for the Aurora. The Aurora supplements the dives that Falcons want to do. But Onic have great toolkits to counter that. The Crimson Beacon of the Juicin, the zoning and the crowd control provided by a Cho, and of course, if Kelra can stay alive and be safe, the damage from Machine Gun Kelra.
Yeah, pretty much maxed out already. Has his DHS, and now they set their eyes on this Lord. A while ago, Team Falcons was just merely trying to get a sniff of the Lord, but Brusco's not afraid to commit the way of the dragon, even if the angle's not there.
Oh, that's dirty. He's a Machine Gun Kelra, yes, but he's playing with Bennett. There's bombs in here. FlapTZ with the AOG.
Okay, Immortality is going to be popped. They're trying to work
on
he
got
Kelra.
him.
Marco goes in from the back, but he lives! Machine Gun Kelra onto Ogwin. Next target is Kyle TZ getting chased down by King Kong, and Brusco with a kick paired up with the Thunder to finish off the wipeout.
We thought he would peak with God of the Gold Ring lane, but the Brat Devil with an 8-1-3 performance.
One more spot secured, and it's none